voice acting legend, Steve Blum. Lots of different things. He's done so much voice acting that in fact he's in the Guinness World Book of Records for the most prolific video game voice actor in the world. He's voiced all kinds of characters in anime as well. Everybody from Spike Spiegel to Orochimaru and Zabuza in Naruto. He's voiced all kinds of incarnations of X-Men as Wolverine. He's been Vincent Valentine in Final Fantasy VII. All kinds of video games from Dragon Age, Mass Effect, Storm, just tons of things to describe it. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Mr. Steve Blum.
First of all, thank you for welcoming me to Toronto. And, my first time here, and you guys have been really nice so far. Are you nice to everybody, or is it just me? Because I got the warning before I came here, so. Welcome, guys. Have a seat. Enjoy. The jacuzzi's in the back. It should be hot by now. So anyway, I thought we'd just sort of keep this casual. I'm a voice actor from LA. For those of you who don't know me, that was a pretty damn good introduction there. Very nicely done. Yes. Big round of applause. And before we go any further, be kind to your staff here. They're working hard, and a lot of them are volunteers. So thank somebody today when you're walking through the halls, okay? So I thought we'd just leave this sort of informal and hit me with your burning questions, and I'll try to answer them as best I can. So come on.
I know you did a lot of writing for Digimon, specifically for third season.
Yes.
I was wondering if you had a favorite episode or any episode that was particularly difficult to translate.
Can you guys hear this in the back? No. Okay. She was asking, can we make that?
Yeah, we'll give it a try.
But I will translate for that one. Well, go ahead and ask it again. It's fine.
I know you did a lot of writing for the third season of Digimon, and I was just wondering if you had a favorite episode or if there was one particularly difficult to write for.
The question's much harder the second time. None of them were particularly hard to voice, and I don't generally choose favorites because different episodes have different flavors to them for me, and it all kind of goes in the flow. But I had a great time writing the scenes. I actually got to write my own scenes, which is really unusual for me. And anything between Guilmon and Tagatomon, it just kind of brought me back to my childhood. And it came at a time when I was doing a lot of really crazy, scary, threatening killer voices, creatures and things. And so to get to do a character, to get to do anything with a character that's just so sweet and innocent, like Guilmon, was a big change for me, and it kind of warmed up my heart again when it started to get cold, so. So that's the best answer I could give to that. Awesome. Okay, fire away.
Have you had any voice actors that you've worked with that you really had a great time working with?
Oh, they're terrible people. No, impossible. I love them all. I mean, I don't think I've ever had a bad experience working with voice actors, and that's the greatest thing about the voice acting community is that they're nice people. And on camera and sometimes in theater, the community isn't as nice. People are killing each other for work, and we actually refer each other for jobs all the time. So I'm really lucky in that way, and I choose them as my friends. Rob Paulson talks about this all the time on his podcast, that our community, we actually choose to spend our off time together because we like each other so much. And we laugh a lot. So the list would be about 400 people long if I started to do that here. So I wouldn't even know where to start, and I would hate to leave anybody out. But start with Rob Paulson and listen to his podcast, and he mentions most of them in his podcast. So, and I agree with his choices. So. All right. How about way in the back there? If you can yell loud enough so everybody can hear you.
All right, I can translate for you, that's fine.
Yeah.
Sure. It only reaches this far.
I just want everybody to hear your great voice.
Big fan of your work. I know about your roles like Tom from Toonami. I don't even know, it doesn't even air in Canada, but I still know you. And the question is, you played Chop Chop in Skylanders, correct?
Probably.
I believe you did, and if you still remember, how does it feel like just playing all like those cheesy lines?
Oh, I'm the master of cheesy lines, dude. I'm like Senor Gruyere. I don't know. Honestly, for games like that, I don't always even know the characters' names when I'm voicing them. So having cheesy lines is kind of the business, and making something out of them, hopefully less cheesy, is kind of the job. So I don't mind it at all. The cheesier the better. Yeah, bring it on. Swiss, Gouda, Jack, Pepper Jack, Cheddar. But you're over there. In the cap.
I'm wondering, for Legend of Korra, for a kid show with particularly dark, specifically like how Amon dies, where he was
Nobody really dies. It's a cartoon. Well, I never really thought of Avatar, that the whole franchise, as being just a kid's show. It's a very sophisticated show, and they put so many different elements in it that appeals to a huge demographic, I think much more so than a lot of shows out there. So I didn't have a problem with that at all. The only problem I had was not getting to go to work the next day. You know, and you know, I don't want to get a spoiler for those of you who haven't seen it. And you know, even if somebody dies in the show, it doesn't mean that they're necessarily dead. They can always come back in another form or something. How's that for us? But I'm on your side, you know, in generic terms of not jumping the shark on a kid's show and making it too dark. I agree with that, but Avatar was not one of those shows in my mind anyway. Okay, how about you? Glasses, yes.
Yeah, I love when you watch Toonami, and I love that it came back in the States. I watched it as a kid without satellite, but I was wondering if, would it even be possible to get a block of Toonami in Canada?
Okay, the question for you, those of you in the back, was, is it possible to get Toonami back in Canada? Well, pardon me?
Or if you could get Toonami in Canada.
Yeah, if you can get Toonami in Canada. Well, the way we got it in the States is by flooding the network with requests, honestly. We did an April Fool's takeover a couple of years ago, and just as a gift to the fans, and we brought back a lot of the programming for one night. And because of that, it went from something like 200,000 viewers to 1.4 million viewers in one night. And kind of woke up the network, and they said, oh, well, that was kind of nice. We got a little bit of viewership. That was pretty good. And I got online, and I learned how to use Twitter that night, and I got on with you guys. And for those of you who are in the States, and we did what we call the Twitter storms every Saturday night, and we just flooded their feed with messages and hashtags and emails, and we shut down their website. It's your kid's fault right there, yes.
Not all of it, just part of it.
Yeah. Well, thank you, sir, I appreciate it. Yeah, but that's how that stuff gets done, and I was actually surprised that we were able to accomplish that. But Toonami is back, and we're stronger than ever, and I've got my Sarah back, and the Absolution, and we got an Intruder 2 coming. And so we're bringing it back to the good old days, and for a whole new audience. So it's kind of cool. But that's how you do it. You just got to let them know that you want it. It's not up to us, and it's not up to Cartoon Network in the States either. It's really up to the station here. How about you over here?
Okay. So as we all know, you've done a lot of work with Marvel.
Yes.
It's like just Wolverine.
I'm pretty lucky at that, bub.
So after Wolverine, who in the Marvel universe would you like to voice? And if you want, just a sample of how you might try to do that.
Oh my God. I've voiced so many characters from the Marvel Universe. It's really hard to... What are you pointing at there? Oh, nice. I voiced him already. In one of the video games, yeah. You know, when I was a kid, I always wanted to do Spider-Man's voice, but I think I'm just too deep. So, and I definitely have enough snark to do him, but that would have been fun to do. Hulk would have been great. I played Hulk in one commercial once. But then, one of my best friends is Fred Tatasciore. To stand next to Fred and hear his Hulk and hear my Hulk, it's like, well, I'm not even gonna bother. There's so many great people out there doing these roles, and all of them are my friends. And another role is Deadpool. I got to play Deadpool in one of the games, and then Nolan North comes along. and just kills it. He's amazing. So I gladly step down to somebody who does the role the way I want to hear it. So, and thank you though. I've been so lucky to do it. I'm going to take some people from this room and on the side of the room, I'll come back to you. How about you, right here?
Cowboy Bebop. Such a phenomenon. Equally as beloved in the Japanese and the English. That ending. What did it mean for you? Sorry.
There were ponies and rainbows. It was fantastic. It was shocking to me. I didn't know what was going to happen at the end, and without spoiling, I didn't know what was going to happen at the end of that, and they purposely kept me in the dark that way. They knew that I didn't preview anything. I'm just not that kind of an actor. I like to go in completely blind, and I forget everything the next day anyway, so I'm the perfect actor. I don't spoil anything for any legal issues. But Bebop was one of those shows where I didn't know what was going to happen, and that day I was so shocked I almost cried. In fact, I might have cried a little bit. I'm crying a little bit on the inside right now, just thinking. Yeah, it was shocking, and that's the kind of ending that I think is perfect in a way. And Watanabe-san agreed. He thought that it ended the way it should have ended. And same with Legend of Korra. They really felt that that was the proper way to go. And it hurts in the moment, but it's right. It's the right thing to do for the story. And so, if I gotta go, I'm gonna do it in style. So, bang.
Me and my friend Stuart, we're both hoping to be professional voice actors one day, and I just want to say you're one of our greatest influences. And
Thank you.
we just adore what you've done with all your characters, and we're just particular fans of your take of Starscream from Transformers Prime.
Oh, thank you, my friend. You still have to call me Lobo.
My friend Stuart, he's a big fan of yours, as I mentioned before, and he's worked many years of practically impersonating a voice, so I just thought maybe you'd like to challenge on who's the real Starscream?
Oh, no. No, Megatron would get wind of that and I'd be fired.
Do you have a sample?
Not right now.
No.
See, if you had been prepared, I would have done that.
I'll be sure to send him the message.
All right, please do that. I challenge you, young man.
Thank you.
So, Warhammer 40,000. Would you reprise your role again? And the second question, are you doing anything with BioWare's new Mass Effect?
The answer to the first question is if they hire me, absolutely yes. I am a voice whore. I will, sorry kids. I will work any union project that comes my way pretty much, as long as it's not something that's entirely offensive to most of the population. I'm great at defending small groups at a time. And Mass Effect, I'm not allowed to talk about video games before they come out, so even if I was working on it, my head would probably just, eviscerate in a red mist instead of trained on me with lasers. Yeah, there are big legal issues around that sort of stuff. How about you right over here, and then you?
Does Starscream have any hobbies besides betraying Megatron?
Does Starscream have any hobbies?
Besides betraying Megatron?
Yes, line dancing. Perhaps you've seen some of my work. I've got moves like Jagger.
So you've done many roles. Which one would you consider to have been the most difficult one to voice?
Ooh, man, that's a hard question to answer. Difficult is an interesting way to describe voice work for me because I don't find any of them particularly difficult to do, necessarily physically, except for things like Wolverine, where I'm just screaming my guts out. And at the end of the session, I feel like, my uvula is just a bloody pulp hanging off my chin. But as far as difficult for the characters themselves, interestingly enough, one of the most difficult things for me to do was in Cowboy Bebop, in the film, when Spike was in the jail cell opposite Electro, if you guys remember that scene. It was a very quiet, very emotional scene where Spike actually had to get real, and that was a very difficult thing for me to do. And I was kind of a younger actor back then, and one of the most difficult things to do for any actor is to be real, and to really tap into that stuff that is most painful to them in their real lives. And so that's where I had to go to do that scene, and it took a lot of takes to do that, and it surprised me because it seemed like such an easy scene. But that was probably the most difficult thing I've ever done, and I learned a lot from that, so maybe a lot more sensitive. Are you back here?
Good day, sir. Michael Ryback. I was wondering what your favorite track is from Cowboy Bebop, and also, if I can be greedy here, basically, how do you prepare for each individual role or not that they give you, but like each one you take?
Wow. Well, the favorite track from Bebop would be Ask DNA. Ask DNA. That's a hard thing to say. Ask DNA. Yeah. I love that tune, and I have a whole soundtrack, and I play it in my car all the time. And how do I prepare for roles?
Yes, sir.
I don't get the luxury of preparing for roles. It's not like on camera. Basically, I walk into a studio, and in most cases, they'll throw a script in front of me, and 30 seconds later, I'm recording. So, except on shows that they really need to prep the whole cast. And for instance, I'm working on Star Wars Rebels right now, and we'll get the script a couple nights in advance, so we get a chance to read through it, and we sort of know where the arc is going, that kind of thing. But in anime and video games, that sort of thing, we walk into the studio and we start recording like that. We have to be ready to go with anything they throw at us. And that's the other thing for you aspiring actors out there. If you have maybe 20 voices that you can do, when you go into the studio, they're going to ask you for 3 voices that you've never done before. And you've got to be prepared to just dive in and do it. If it's a different dialect, if it's a different age bracket, different ethnicity, you have to be prepared for anything, different gender. So you just never know what you're going to dive into. So the secret of preparation is just practice, honestly. You just have to do it for years.
Thanks, sir.
You're very welcome. Okay, back to the side of the room. Are you ready here?
Later on, from Gurren Lagann.
Yes, hon.
How did that happen?
Well, it was a favor for a director.
No, it wasn't. It was... Liron was sort of a happy accident. I came in reading for something else, and I asked to read for Liron, which I never do. I never, beg for roles, but I read the sides for it, and I just thought it was so hilarious, and such a brilliant character, and added so much life to it. It was something I'd never gotten to do before. And so I tried out, and they were kind of astonished that I could actually do that voice. They were surprised. They usually hired me for a lot harder roles, and not hard. Well, that was a really bad choice of words, but more aggressive kind of roles. I was usually creatures and things for them, and then I come in with
This lilting little voice who said when you screw it in, give it a hard manly twist.
And the great thing about that role is that we had a whole separate episode worth of outtakes that we could never use because they were much dirtier than what and they showed this reel at Anime Expo years ago, and there's this really crappy version of it online. And I just talked to the guys at Bang Zoom, they're going to give that copy to me sometime, so I will post that at some point. So you'll see the cleaner of the dirty outtakes at some point. Right? We had literally a whole other show's worth of stuff that we could have used. It was ridiculous. How about you right there in the glasses? Yes. Yes. No, you right here. Yes.
My favorite character of yours is Mugen from Samurai.
Mugen, nice.
So my question is, the voice acting can determine so much about what a character is, whether he's playful or moody or whatnot. At what point during a recording or doing your take on a character do you determine who that character is going to be through your voice?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Well, when I'm working on anime, all of that is sort of decided ahead of time. I mean, it's all done before by the Japanese actors, and the art is there, the movement is there. So all I have to do is fill in the blanks and do my interpretation of that. So my job is comparatively easy when I'm doing a character like that. I just have to do something that fits the character properly. And Mugen, the challenge for me was really just to get the voice high enough, because my original take on him was to do a little bit of a deeper voice and a cooler voice, and they wanted it like spiked light. And so, I kind of had to pitch him up a little bit and make him a little bit lazier and talk about dumplings and be, angry all the time and hungry all the time, which I kind of was. So I just sort of, that was an easy role to step into. Thank you. How about you, Richard?
Did you enjoy voicing Crash Bandicoot even though he doesn't speak much?
You wouldn't love that. I was so excited. I didn't care how many words I could say, as long as I got to say It was awesome. It was one of the few games that I was able to play because I'm a really terrible gamer. So that was Crash Nitro Kart. It was awesome. Yeah, it was really fun. And, pardon me? They played the Emperor Vilo on that also, if I remember right. Big green guy, yes. That was fun. It was really fun. How about somebody back? How about you back there?
Can you tell us what kind of women Spike loves?
I love the kind of women that can kick my ass. That's the kind of women Steve loves too, just saying. I like you that right there.
What was one of your most memorable moments on the Digimon cartoon? Yeah.
Oh man, so many great moments on Digimon. I don't remember moments in particular, but I remember certain just feelings with the characters. There's a character called JP that I played, who was this kind of short, kind of stubby little kid. And I was that kid growing up. I was overweight, I didn't have a lot of friends, I was really insecure, I got bullied a lot, and so I connected with JP. And so pretty much any of his scenes where he was going through those emotions, it kind of brought me back to childhood and helped me process some of those feelings. And as an adult, that's a really healthy thing to do. And surprised me doing a cartoon, especially something like Digimon, that I would have any kind of connection like that, where it really changed me in real life. But those are the moments I remember, the ones that profoundly resonate with me as a living, breathing person.
Can you also do the Guilmon thing?
Which one?
Digiball.
Got ready? Guilmon Digivolve to
Haven't done that in a while, Louise. Thank you for that. How about somebody who hasn't asked one before? How about you, way over there, and then you, sir?
Me?
You first, yes, and then you in the glasses.
I want to know who would win in a fist fight with no weapons between Mugen and Spike.
A fist fight between the two. Wow. I think they just call it a day and go out for a beer. What's the point in fighting? So what would they have to fight about, honestly? They're both employed by Watanabe. They've got great soundtracks, hot chicks in their shows. Nothing to fight about. Life is good.
Followed by a prairie oyster.
And behind you, there's a gentleman standing up there. Did you still have a question, sir? Yes.
Do you like it when a minor character actually you're playing actually turns out to have something very significant to say?
I like it playing any kind of minor character, whether they've got anything important to say or not. I just love working, and actually the bit parts are my favorite ones because there's not a lot of commitment to it, and I can hop from one to another, and I get to stretch myself as an actor. But yes, that is really interesting when that happens. Something like Laughing Man, for example, in
Ghost in the Shell.
Thank you, Ghost in the Shell. Laughing Man was very, very small part for me, but very significant to the franchise. And
I have a line of question on that vein, actually. Do you remember Xenosaga 3?
barely.
You played a character named Kane in there. And he said, I didn't exist just to watch you die, and I don't want to exist only to betray you. I truly want another reason to exist.
That's a pretty good line. Very well delivered, too.
You say it, actually.
I'm sorry?
You say it.
Oh, man. You'd have to write it down for me. I think you did it better than I could do it, honestly. I don't even remember what voice I used for that.
It's like this, only a little deeper, actually.
Oh, really? All right, feed me the line. A little at a time.
I didn't exist just to watch you die.
I didn't exist just to watch you die.
And I don't want to exist only to betray you.
And I don't want to exist only to betray you.
I truly want another reason to exist.
I truly want another reason to exist.
Very good. Very
Did I pass the audition? Congratulations, you sir, are a director. How about you, Richard?
So what is your favorite food?
My favorite food. Anything edible. This tablecloth right now because I'm hungry. No, I love food. I'm food whore. No, I love all food. I don't have favorites. I just don't like a lot of junky food. I'm starting to eat healthier because I'm old and I want to last for a while. Yeah. How about you, right here?
What are some of the ways you practice either speaking in different dialects and like training to learn different dialects, or to speak fast? They're kind of the same thing.
They're actually very different things in my mind. Dialects are very difficult for me. There are some people who specialize in that. There's a guy named Steve Blum who is one of my good friends. He does a lot of work. You guys probably know his work. And he's a dialectician, and the guy breaks it down and knows how to create a dialect from scratch, and using the phonemes and all of that stuff. I don't know that technology really. I have to learn it. But I'm just a good copycat. I watch my friends and I steal from them. That's pretty much what I do. Or if I know that I have to go in for a dialect, I'll watch YouTube and I'll watch some native speakers. And I will listen to them very carefully. Sometimes I'll record it. I'll play it in my car just before I get to a session. And 9 times out of 10 when I get there and I've got the dialect perfectly, they change it. So you just got to be prepared for anything. And as far as speaking fast, I have to do that a lot for commercials. I do a lot of commercials for 7-Eleven. Do you guys have 7-Elevens here? Yeah. You do, yeah. Sometimes we have to say things like, available for limited time only, participating dealers, terms, conditions, and restrictions apply. When you have to do that kind of thing, that's my little mantra, because I know that I've done that particular little chunk there many, many times for the commercials. So I'll do that as a warm-up exercise. And you really have to warm up all the muscles around your mouth to be able to get that stuff out. And especially in a groggy morning, it's really hard to get that stuff out. So I just do that maybe 10 times in a row. And then hopefully by the time I'm in the studio, I'm loose enough to do it. But again, it's a practice thing. You have to get muscle memory there to do that. And you, sir?
I know as an actor, all work is great work.
Yes.
But do you prefer heroic roles or do you prefer the villainous roles?
I love all roles for different reasons, and on different days they feel better than others too. There was a day a couple weeks ago when I was working on Transformers Rescue Bots, and I'm the heroic guy in there, roll to the rescue, you know, an Autobot, really cool guy. And then the same day I'm doing a creature ripping the head off of another creature. And the great thing is that it satisfies both of those sides, because we all have those sides in us. We both have, you know, the angry side, we both have the loving side. Hopefully, we all have the loving side. You guys have the loving side? Yeah. And it sort of satisfies me emotionally all in one day. And so I really don't have a preference necessarily. The only time when that does really affect me is when I'm having a really bad drive to work. In Los Angeles, we have traffic like you guys have here. It'll take me an hour and a half to get to work. And instead of taking that road rage out on the poor people beside me in their cars, I'll go in the studio and I'll scream my head off, you know, and I'll feel better when I go out. It's therapy. So it just depends on the day, really. And there's some days, but any day is good when I'm doing kid shows. That always makes me really happy. I'm working on a show now called Doc McStuffins. I get to work on that all the time. And I sing in the show as these sweet little kid characters for little young kids. And that to me just kind of makes me remember what it's all about, and remember my kids when they were little, and remember that there is an audience that's, you know, still developing. So that kind of warms me up. How about you? Yes. Oh, fine. Don't do it.
Because you have done so much work in cartoons, anime, and video games, was it a particular role that kind of just opened the floodgates in terms of you getting a lot of work, or?
Spike Spiegel.
Spike Spiegel?
Yeah. Yeah, dude, that opened so many doors, and it really surprised me, too. I didn't know what to expect from that show. They said it was going to be really big. But that show opened up the door for Toonami. I got hired as Tom because of that show, and I got hired for Megas XLR because of that. Yeah, I mean, you guys are Megas fans, awesome. Yeah, and many, many other things. Even on Legend of Korra, the guys, Mike and Brian, the creators of the show, are bebop fans. Who knew? You know, it's amazing. It's amazing. So it opened a ton of doors for me. And, well, okay? Can you mouth to mouth? I'm on my way to help. Okay. Sorry. To the point where I actually, at 40 years old, I got a tattoo of Spike's voice. That's Bang from the very last episode. So it was that pivotal in my life. See, I'm a geek just like you guys. Have you hat right there, sir? Yes, you. The most preparation and practice? Oof, I don't get a lot of preparation and practice. That's an issue for me. You know, when I go in, it's improv. A lot of it's improv. I don't even know what I'm doing until I walk into that studio. So really, the preparation and practice is the years that I've invested in it and just worked. And the ones that are the hardest are dialects for me. Dialects are very difficult, and there are guys that specialize in it and guys that have that naturally come to them. And I do for some, but there are other dialects that are really, really tough, and that takes the most preparation. Usually, like I said, when I'm preparing for those, I end up walking to the studio to give me something else, and I have to start all over again. So, but as far as the roles themselves, it's an organic process for me. I see a picture of the character and something pops into my head immediately, and I'm ready to go. And that's the best way to work, I think. How about you, Rachel, in the purple?
Is there any significant difference when you work on voicing a video game or?
Yes, video games. Well, a show. Are you talking about like original animation type show? Yeah, there are three different things actually. Anime, we're actually matching lip flaps to something that's existing already, so there's a technical aspect to that. And we'll do maybe 40 lines in an hour or something like that. And so we do have to keep cranking it through, and it is a process. It's just me and a director usually, and maybe one other person, the engineer. In original animation, something like Star Wars or Transformers, Wolverine, the X-Men, those kinds of shows, we work with the whole cast. And so the lines are divvied up between all the cast members, and I might have 30 to 40 lines in a whole show, in a whole 4-hour session, and that's it. In video games, I might do 600 lines in a 4-hour session. Something like Mass Effect, I think that's what I was averaging, about 400 to 600 lines in a 4-hour session. And you have to do that just because there's so many to do. So that's the biggest differentiation. And then when you're working with a cast on the original animated shows, we get to play off of each other. It's like a sandbox for adults. It's awesome. We're throwing each other lines, we're laughing and pulling pranks on each other. It's the biggest challenge there is for the director to control us and keep the kids behaving, because we are badly behaved. We're terrible. What are you reading?
So if you could, do you prefer kind of working with the director one-on-one or working with the cast? Do they both have their benefits, kind of?
They both have their benefits, and even when I'm with the cast, I'm still working with the director one-on-one, because the director's on the other side of the glass. We each do our parts individually. Even when we're in a full cast record, we have to leave a little bit of space between each line, and they push it together so it sounds like a more natural conversation, but that way they have control over it. So technically, we are working with the director one-on-one in every situation, but it is so much fun to work with a cast, because they are hilarious people. They're some of the funniest people on the planet. A lot of them are, they come from improv, comedy. All of them have done stage and screen and music, except for me. I'm the only guy who's never been classically trained. So I'm the doofus in the room that's, I don't know. Who's Ben Kingsley? I know who he is. It's okay. No, but it's fun. It's really fun. I love doing that the best. It's really great. How about you in the glasses or the goggles? Yes? Fire ferrets, I like it. Shepherd, straight to the face. I am broken.
What's the character that you've always wanted to voice that you haven't gotten to voice yet?
Sailor Moon. Man, I've been so lucky. I don't think about the characters that I haven't done. I've been so lucky to get the ones that I do get to do. One of the characters that I wanted to do was anything in a Leica film, because I love Paranorman and Coraline and those things, and I got to play Shu in Box Trolls, the new movie that's coming out. And I had the biggest fanboy squee when I landed that role, I can't even tell you. And I got to go out there and I got to play with the puppets and see how everything was made. So I'm so fortunate. I just don't think about the characters that I haven't played. But great question. How about you, Rachel? Yes, you first.
Quick request. Can you give us your favorite line as a line from Legend of Korra?
Oh, I have something prepared for you, mister. Not actually from the show. Ready for this? I'm on fire. I'm on stage. I'm on Korra. I'm on TV. I'm on a roll. I'm on a quest for equality. I'm on thin ice. I'm on a boat. I'm on a bender. I'm on a tight schedule. Favorite dessert? Chocolate almonds. I'm unable to answer that. Can I get an almond, somebody? Nice. I'm opening up a new spiritual center on Air Temple Island, simply called a monastery. I'm lactose intolerant, but I can drink Amon milk. Okay, how about, I see a green arm up in here. Yes, that's you with pink hair attached to it. Hi.
Have you ever had any crazy con experiences or any fan experiences that like crazy fan obsessed people?
I have had a lot of crazy con experiences, yes. I was glomped by a 13-year-old girl once, and she took me to the floor. Almost gave me a brain hemorrhage. Unbelievable, this girl just came. I've been glomped by some big people before, and this girl was probably 80 pounds, came running out of nowhere. I had 3 big bouncers around me, and she took me out. It was drooling. I almost passed out. I thought she was going to kill me. And then outside of the con, this is really bad, but when I was in the music business, a girl mailed me her pubic hair once. That was at least I think it was a girl. Sorry, moms and dads, if there's kids in the room, but it's true.
Have you ever tried to do an Australian accent? And what was it like working with Peter Cullen on Transformers?
Oh, you're brutal. You're asking me to do that, and you're from me. Peter Cullen, yes, I have done plenty of Australian accents badly. Lots and lots and lots of them. Yeah, I was a singing kangaroo in Doc McStuffins. How did that song go? Anybody know the Doc McStuffins song? There.
Oh, I feel better, so much better. Thank you, Doc, for taking all my ouches away.
Something like that.
Pretty much out of time, something really quick.
Okay, 3 more really quick questions. You, and then you, and then you. Okay, fire.
I know you said you're not much of a gamer. I really like you as Ritlock in Guild Wars 2. Do you play any of the games that you've voiced in?
I'm a terrible gamer. I don't have opposable thumbs. I'm like a really bad chin. How about you, Richard?
Is it easier for someone to start out in, or getting into anime voice acting, into pre-lay, I imagine is fairly hard, or video game voice acting? What is the easiest route in?
There is no easy answer to that. Anime, you're not going to make a living at. I can just tell you that right now. It doesn't pay very well at all. I made less on Cowboy Bebop. I'm 26 episodes in a movie of Cowboy Bebop than I make on 1 episode of Transformers Prime. But it got me here, so the short answer to that is it's all extremely difficult to get into, but you have to do it because you love to do it, and then you'll never be disappointed. And all of those things, all those genres, they're all connected. A lot of the directors work in all the different mediums. So if you get in one area, chances are eventually, if you stick with it long enough, you'll be able to work in all the other ones. And so that's really all I can tell you. Just do community theater, do radio, read to kids, get yourself out there, get some professional acting training, do improv. Go to iwannabeavoiceactor.com or go to my website. There's a lot of information there. It's just steveblumvoices.com, and there's a button that says, how do I become a voice actor? It'll give you all of that information, much more than I could give you here. Thousands of dollars of free information that will keep you away from the predators as you're going through that process.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. And how about you right there?
What do you think about celebrity voice actors? And they get so many roles in Hollywood, paid millions of dollars for their name on the poster.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
God bless them to get the work, you know. I have mixed feelings about celebrity voice actors. If they're good, I'm thrilled because it's good for everybody. If they're good and they can bring up the dollars for everybody in the business, fantastic. Chances are they won't for guys like me. I've worked in sessions with guys who are making literally $20 million for the same thing I get paid $800 for. But I can't, have any negative feelings about that because I'm still making $800 doing something I love to do. That's just their world. They're paid because that's what they're valued at by the media or whoever else. But they have brought attention to voice acting in general, and that's a good thing. And there are guys like Seth Green and so many of them. Frank Welker. The list is huge of on-camera voice actors now who are working all the time. I'm working with Mark Hamill all the time. Mark is one of the greatest voice actors of all time. So if his talent are doing it, I am just thrilled to be in the room with him.
I agree with that. What do you think of my Scottish accent, by the way? I'm not Scottish.
I think it's great, you fool me. I'd date you if I was young enough. All right, so I think we're out of time, right? Okay. Thank you guys so much for coming. I'll be signing. I'm going back to Florida. I'll be signing for the rest of the weekend, so please come and see me. Love you people. Please.